Hey, good morning and welcome to Let's Talk Business. I am Quincy Pittman, your podcast producer and your director of media, also executive producer and director at Administrative Back Office Pros. Today, we have a very, very special member in the house. Would you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Brackens. I'm with Primacore Solutions here in Houston, Texas.
Sweet, it's nice to have you here.
Good to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
You still got me laughing. You're a joke. I'm trying to focus here. But before we get started, we'd like to thank our President and Chairman Club members, Amico Federal Credit Union, Enlightenment Enterprises, Lamar Institute of Technology, Beaumont, Lone Star College, the Linwood Group, Southwest Airlines, and Quality Precision Coatings in supporting our Let's Talk Business podcast. All right, so as we start each podcast off, we'd like to recite our mission statement. It's an affirmation for us as a chamber. We're committed to acquiring and disseminating valuable business information, resources, and tools for member firms to achieve entrepreneurial parity and economic prosperity in the region and international. Now, if you recognize something's missing today, you're right. Our host, Howard Johnson, is out. I know you miss his voice. I know you miss his silliness on a Friday, especially after it's been a long week, because I surely do. But he's out with the chamber on a strategic follow-up mission in Belize. So miss him. He'll be back. All right. So I got a joke for you.
All right, here we go.
How do construction workers party?
How do construction workers party? I do not know.
They raise the roof. All right, so speaking of construction, we offer an alliance membership specifically dedicated to those businesses that are in trucking and construction. So if you are interested in that, please go to our website, tcbcc.org, find out more information about our alliance program. Now, as I mentioned, TCRBCC is out in Belize on a strategic follow-up mission, and Mike Brackens here just so happens to be a strategic partner. So I think he's a good example of today of explaining what a strategic partner is in relation to what the chamber is currently accomplishing in Belize right now. So him as a strategic partner, he has a partnership with us that involves a sharing of resources between, in this case, Primacore and Tri-County Black Chamber of Commerce to help everyone that's involved succeed, right?
Absolutely.
So would you say it's a mutually beneficial relationship?
Absolutely. It would have to be in order for us to be a part of it. I think that was part of the motivation, right? Mm-hmm. Our CEO and president, Donald Mooney, out of San Antonio, he's the reason why I'm here. He and I'll call her Miss Nene. So if I slip up and call her that, then. So Miss Leandria and him have been friends for a while.
Oh, wow.
And so he understands the importance of being a part of something like this, and so that's what brought me here.
Oh, sweet. Okay. I didn't know that there was that connection. That's
yeah.
The Nene part sounds like you've known her for a while.
Yeah. Well, so she kind of told me the story of what they used to call her when she was a little girl, and so that kind of stuck with me.
Yeah. So when you said that earlier when we first met this morning, that's why I giggled.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know you knew the story, but
when
I hear it, I think of the story, obviously. So partnering with Mike Brackens helps solidify our mission statement. We're committed to acquiring and disseminating valuable business information, resources, and tools. So I'm really glad he's here today.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you some questions about Primacore.
Sure.
All right.
Let's go for it.
What is Primacore Solutions and what do you do?
Primacore Solutions is a veteran-owned, minority-owned staffing firm. So what we do is we offer staff augmentation for light industrial and logistics companies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what separates Primacore Solutions from other staffing companies?
That's a good question. The truth of the matter is that all staffing companies essentially do about the same thing, right? They get a job order and then they find people. Now, how you get from point A to point Z is how we could try to differentiate ourselves from other companies. There are 4 things that we focus on. Number 1, the onboarding process. So my job, let me tell you what my job is. My job is to go and knock on the doors and say, hi, Quincy, I'm with Primacore Solutions. Who's in charge of your staffing? And you say, I am. And I say whatever I'm going to say regarding your industry. So then I find out a little bit more about what that looks like. So the 4 things that I mentioned earlier is number 1, the onboarding. So when you have someone that's coming on board, what does that look like? Is there some type of orientation? Is there some type of background check? There's about 13 different things that we do before you even see the person. The second thing that we focus on is the culture. You know, some of the unwritten rules and things that you're not supposed to talk about is, okay, if I put a woman in this position, is she going to be okay? If they don't speak Spanish, are they going to be okay? You know, if they're not over 6 foot, is there going to be a problem? You know, so we have these off-the-record types of conversations because ultimately we don't want to set anyone up for failure.
Right.
So the onboarding, the culture, the retention. We don't want professional job hoppers, right? Most of the people that are going to a staffing company are probably affiliated with at least 3 of them. So they'll go to the highest bidder. And we try to find the people that need to work and want to work, but they're not looking for the next best thing. They're looking for a place where they can ultimately retire if the opportunity presents itself. And then the last thing, is probably not the most important thing, but it is important, is the pay rate.
Of course.
Yeah, you know. So, you know, if I told you I'll have a job for you that's paying $100,000, and you were like, okay, yeah, I'll take that, but that requires you to walk on foot and clean out outhouses or porta potties, you might want to keep that. I'll just go to McDonald's or whatever. So those 4 things are essential, and so those are the things that we focus on that kind of separates us from other staffing companies.
Okay. And so my next question, you pretty much just answered. But why would a company use Primacore for something that they could do on their own? Well, you answered in a couple ways. Maybe you didn't answer completely, but...
Yeah, so aside from what I've already mentioned, there are some financial benefits to using a staffing firm that most companies don't have to take on. So there's the FICA, the FUTA, the SUTA, the workers' comp, and the general liability insurance that we offer. Not all companies have the resources to do that. We really cater to what the needs are. I'm not just interested in coming in and getting a job order. I'm going to sit and talk to you probably for about 30 minutes. And then I'm going to go back and customize a program to make sure that I'm serving as an extension of your HR department. And if you don't have one, then by all means, I'm your go-to guy. Yeah, I'm your HR. I'm going to make sure that you are legally safe, that you're compliant as well. Although companies can do that. And I won't tell you the name of the company, but there was a company, a well-known company, that I went and, you know, prospected, had a conversation with them, and they said, no, we'll just go to Home Depot. We have a van. We'll go to Home Depot and we'll pick up some people and get them to work for us. So we're going to save some money. I said, okay, hey, listen, I'm no legal, I'm no attorney at this. But if you ever get busted at that, it's not only going to take down this operation, but all operations that are under that umbrella. And he kind of brushed me off like, yeah, well, whatever, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, that company is no longer in existence because there's the E-Verify, there's the S2 Verify. There's all of these legal documents that have to be in place for every single person that's working. No longer can you just go get a Joe Blow off the street and put them in place. So we try to make sure that you're compliant from top to bottom. But we don't try, we make sure. If you're not able to follow those steps, then we don't do business.
I think that's very valuable to a company, because oftentimes you have someone in position who is maybe HR or a recruiter, but that might not be their forte as far as hiring. But because they're in an all-encompassing role, you have turnover.
Yeah.
And so to have some company who actually has the time and the experience with staffing according to, you know, your company culture and all the other things that you named, I can see how that's very valuable to a company versus hey, I'm Quincy, I'm the manager, but maybe I'm good at managing, but not necessarily hiring. And now I'm doing all the hiring, and then we have the turnover. So,
Yeah. One of the other things that most companies don't like doing is going through resumes. You know,
no
if
one
you
does.
put up a job order or a position where you are looking for a general labor, just for the sake of example, you will get everyone that is looking for a job. You'll get doctors, you'll get people that have only worked fast food, you'll get, you know, kids out of high school. Nobody wants to comb through all of those resumes and say, okay, I'm gonna bring this person in, because the truth of the matter is that I can make my resume tell you anything I want you to know. But when I get there, you have to be, you know, your acumen of what the job is has to be very sharp, or you're gonna get, you know, a okie doke. There's been countless times where we put up a position for like a rubber shop helper, and any and everyone that is looking for a job, they put that on their resume. And so when we bring them in for an interview, I'm like, hi Quincy, so tell me about your rubber shop experience. And they're like, I just really need a job. I'm like, okay, it's not gonna work that way. So HR departments, they don't want to go through all of that. And some of the things that we have structured prevent that type of thing from happening. Anybody can put a job order on the internet and kind of hope for the best. But if you're strategic with it, you have a higher rate of success.
all right, and then if HR doesn't have to focus on that, because I'm sure they have a million responsibilities, it makes them more efficient
Absolutely.
at the things that, as an employee, you really care about.
Exactly.
So, how did Primacore make it through the pandemic, and what are the changes that you made in your process because of it?
We actually did okay. And the reason why is because of what we offer. We offer temporary work. So when you have to downsize, you're going to have to lay some people off. But the production has to keep going.
Right.
So if you can get some people to come in that you may not have to necessarily pay as much, then that's a better situation for you. So although there were a lot of layoffs going on during the pandemic, we were able to kind of step in and help out with those types of situations. One of the things that we've had to do drastically different is find out from the clients if that's a part of their process. Do they have to have, you know, some type of vaccination? Do you care if, you know, if they've had COVID before, can they still work? So we do. Those are some of the prerequisites that we find out when we bring people in.
Okay. So what are some of the challenges you face now that companies are hiring again?
I'm going to quote the prophet Fat Joe. Yesterday's prices are not today's prices. Right? So what you were able to pay someone to do pre-pandemic, you're not able to do now. The stimulus checks that we got, the unemployment benefits that were offered have shifted the market drastically. So gone are the days where people are really just accepting $10 an hour jobs. If you can't bump that up to at least 13, you're going to suffer. So the one thing that has changed is we have to have that tough conversation with our clients. Hey, how's it going? How much do you want to pay them? Okay, let's be realistic. Unless you want someone with no experience, you're not going to get that. And most companies don't see the benefit of paying a little bit more. But you do get what you pay for in a lot of situations, especially with the processes that we have in place to qualify them.
Right.
You know, we make sure that you get your bang for the buck.
Yeah, you're getting the quality.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are there benefits for new and existing members of the chamber?
I would say 1,000% yes.
I hope so.
Yeah. And that was part of Mr. Mooney's motivation for joining the chamber, especially when it comes to bidding, you know, for government contracts. A lot of the smaller companies have these aspirations of taking on the big task, but they don't have the personnel to.
Right.
That's where we come in. We, you know, lock and sync with them and say, okay, Quincy, you have this cleaning bid that you're going for, but they're requiring 50 people. Can you facilitate that? No, you can't. But we can. We not only have the Houston office, but we have the San Antonio office, and it allows us to pull resources from pretty much all over the country. So yeah, we partner with the entrepreneurs, the small businesses, and we help them go for the big fish by giving them the personnel that they need in order to be successful at it.
Yeah, and there's quite a few members here that I know are. We just had the forum last week where we specifically talked to state hub coordinators about the processes and so on and so forth. And I've obviously talked to members who just feel like they have a lot on their plate and it's so much paperwork and so much this. But I urge our members to utilize the chamber because we have someone here who's a problem solver for you. You know what I mean? So if you didn't know that Primacore was a part of the chamber and that you could utilize this resource, this is a weight off of your shoulders here.
Absolutely. Miss Nana has connected us with a couple of different companies that we've been able to say, okay, this is what you need, this is what that should look like. Have you thought about doing it this way? You know, not only am I OSHA certified, but we're Hub certified. There's a lot of different things that we could bring to the table other than just we can give you people. We can make sure, I can't stress enough how compliance is, that's a must-have. And you can't just partner up with anyone that's not compliant, especially going after a contract. They're going to read everything about the company, and that you have to make sure that you can deliver on your promises.
Yeah, well, I'm happy you're on the team.
I'm happy to be a part of the team.
You know what I mean? Those of you still going at it alone, contemplating whether or not you should join the chamber, maybe not Tri-County Chamber. But you can't go at it alone. You need a team. You need resources. Like they say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. You need to know some more people.
Yeah, I would say join Tri-County.
Tri-County.
The reason why I'll use this as an example. I remember when I was a little boy, my parents bought the encyclopedias. Right. I'm probably dating myself, but those encyclopedias sat on the shelf for years, but they were always there when we needed them. Now, Miss Nene is a walking encyclopedia. I think I mentioned earlier that she's a walking Google. She is so thorough in making sure that companies, entrepreneurs, members of the chamber, that they know and have all the resources that they need in order to be successful. I have never been short of amazed at how well versed she is at everything. I would think at some point in time she's going to forget about this.
No.
It's almost like she has a photographic memory with information. She may not remember what you have on, 5 years ago, but she's going to remember the conversation. She's going to remember the person that you could talk to.
Yeah.
And so she's that bridge from chaos to order. So, yeah, I don't know about the other chambers. I can only vouch for this one.
But don't even worry about it.
Don't even worry about it.
There are no others.
Who? What?
Right. So, what made you join the chamber? Was it when you met her and saw how amazing she is, or what actually motivated you to actually, believe in what the chamber is doing and take that leap? What was your process?
Yeah, so at first I didn't want to. I'm just going to be...
I hear that all the time. Don't even feel... You look like... I'm not surprised that you said that.
So Mr. Mooney, he, when you get a call from your boss's boss, and he says, hey, I want you to meet someone. Oh, okay, yes, sir. I'll do it.
Right.
And I did it, kind of happy. I was like, all right, I'll do it because it's my job. But then as a result of sitting with her and talking to her, I was very glad, very appreciative. I think I actually called Mr. Mooney back and told him how appreciative I was of having the opportunity to be a part of the chamber. She's a necessary part, integral part of success for any businesses that are really trying to get their footwork, get their foot in the door and to have some type of success, right? So what made me join was, first and foremost, it was a mandate that was given to me, but I would endorse it moving forward. Anyone and everyone that I know that's looking for an opportunity to network, to become more than what they are, have you considered the chamber? I'll give them a commercial about it. But yeah, what made me join was initially my boss, but I'm so glad that I am a part of it now.
And you said something interesting about Miss Thompson, that she is an integral part, right? Yeah. So the way I feel about her, you ever like you cook something or someone's cooked something and something was missing, they ask you to taste it?
Yeah.
And you're like, it just needs a little salt. Or it needs a little of this. She is that for your business. So
absolutely,
if something is missing, if you're struggling somewhere, even if you think you know it all, she's gonna let you know what that one thing is that you're missing, yeah. Motivate you. Now, she can only lead you to the water. Now you gotta do some work. Okay,
yeah, absolutely.
Because it's oftentimes where some members are disappointed. But we got to do the work. It's a lot of work to do.
Absolutely, it's not easy.
It's not easy, but you're never going to be lost.
Never.
So that, at least, I think, is something that helps you breathe a little bit easier. At least there's a light throughout this tunnel for you. Yeah. You don't really know what's around the corner, maybe, but like you said, she is a very integral part of any business. So yeah, utilize the chamber now. What has been your experience since joining the chamber?
It has been nothing but gratifying. You mentioned Howard Johnson earlier. He is, we had the opportunity of partnering with him. There's an HEB that was recently established on McGregor off of 288.
288 McGregor, yeah.
And they came to, I actually did, the door knocking. Hi, my name is Mike with Primacore. And they were like, yeah, we can use you, but this is what we need. And it was out of our wheelhouse. They were needing some type of renovations and cleanup crew that we didn't have the manpower for. As much as we wanted to, we try to, yeah, we can do it all. Bring the business our way and we'll take care of it. That was one thing that we had never done before.
So you didn't want to misrepresent yourself.
Didn't want to misrepresent myself, so I went back to Mr. Mooney and I said, hey, it's an awesome opportunity, but we're not going to be able to do it. And he says, have you talked to Leandria? In his, deep voice. And I said, no, but I will. So had a conversation with her this same day, probably in less than an hour. I was on the phone with Howard Johnson, and we were able to partner up. Any and every time that I've ever called needing some type of information or perspective or even opinion or anything of the sort, she has answered. If she didn't answer the phone then, she would call me back and be like, hey, Mike, I'm about to do this podcast. I'm going to call you back. So her availability, I'm thinking there's probably about 16, maybe even 17 Leandria that are walking around. There's no way that she can be doing all of that. It's impossible. So my experience has been nothing but positive. She is, the chamber in large, but her specifically. She's a value add. She's a value add. It's been nothing but good.
That phone is always ringing, okay? It is always ringing, but she's always available. She may leave you on hold for 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But, if she has you on hold, unless you hang up, she's coming back.
Coming right back, absolutely.
Okay, so how has being, well, you pretty much just answered in your experience how being a part of the chamber has affected your business in one way. Is there any other ways that you'd like to talk about?
Brand recognition is important, right? We're a small fish in a big pond, right? There are a lot of different staffing companies that exist, and there's no commercials, there's no social media outlets that would allow us to cover all aspects of true advertisement. Being a part of the chamber has definitely enhanced our brand awareness. More companies know us, and more people know us because of the chamber. Yeah, and that's some things that I feel confident in saying we wouldn't have been able to attain had we not been a part of the chamber. So,
wow,
that's important to us. Anybody that has a aspiration of being a business owner, you don't have success until people know who you are. Word of mouth.
Right.
And so being a part of the chamber does that for us.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So what advice would you give other entrepreneurs who are thinking about joining the chamber?
Don't think about it. Just do it. Just do it. I've never met anyone in the chamber that regretted it. I've never met anyone that is no longer in the chamber that had a viable complaint. You know, if Miss Nene says do 1, 2, 3, 4, and you think, this is my business, I'm gonna just do 3, and 1 and 2 will take care of itself, and you don't do it, then that's on you. Right. I would say don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to join. Whether you see it right now or not is not really important. It's kind of like when you invest your money in, the stocks. You don't see the return on that for some time. There's going to be some ebbs and flows, right?
Right.
So joining the chamber will be like that. It's not always just going to be people knocking on your door, but when they do knock on your door, when you get that one opportunity,
yes,
you're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, well, let me get a pen and paper, and then you're writing stuff down.
Right.
So don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to join. There's nothing but positive information. The way that she's able to galvanize people. I'm not really trying to turn this into a praise session for Miss Nene, but this chamber is different because of what she's able to do for companies, for entrepreneurs, for small businesses, for mid-sized businesses. It's amazing how she connects dots.
Yeah.
Just things that you wouldn't assume that she's able to do, she's able to do it. So this chamber obviously brings that to the table, and it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And we had a pleasure interviewing you today.
Thank you.
I'd like for you to just sign off and let our listeners know how they can reach you, phone, email, and whatnot.
So our website is www.prima-core.com, Prima, the minus sign, core.com. If you want to call us here in Houston, you can reach us at 832-460-5128. My name is Mike Brackens, and I approve this message.
I love it. I love it. All right, so we're going to sign out here, but before we do, I just want to announce some upcoming events. Number one, we want to save the date for the annual Business Choice Awards and Gala on June 25th. Mike will be there. I hope. I'm not sure. He didn't tell me. Also, we have our Business Choice book. It's not too late to register for your ad. The early bird special ends on May 6th. That is May 6th, a Friday, next Friday. Early bird special ends, meaning the prices will increase after May 6th. Again, ad space is limited. And also, this year's Business Choice book is a one-of-a-kind for the Chamber. It is actually magazine bound.
Oh, wow.
For the first time. It's gonna be nice, so don't miss out on the chance to promote your business in this year's Business Choice book. We have a Business After 5 Region 3 networking event on Thursday, May 5th at Lamar Institute of Technology on East Lavaca Petrochemical Tech Room 102 in Beaumont, Texas 77705. We also have a Business After 5 Region 2 networking event next week on May 6th. That's Thursday at Top Golf. It's 21401 Go Freeway in Webster, Texas 77598. These events are open to members and non-members. We encourage our members to attend and help these other entrepreneurs achieve their economic prosperity and independence. But please, please, please let us know that you're going to be there so that we can make introductions by going online to register at tcbcc.org/events. All right. Now, as we end this week's podcast, we'd like to thank our chairman and president club members, Amico Federal Credit Union, Enlightenment Enterprises, Lamar Institute of Technology, Lone Star College, Linwood Group, Southwest Airlines, and our travel partners, our travel partners, and also Quality Precision Coatings. All right, we will see you next Friday. And I encourage you all to laugh at your problems because everyone else does. Have a good weekend.